Hey, I think we're live. And hello, how are you doing? So, I been reading comic books this year, like a lot of you. And I have a few thoughts, and that's what this show's about. Now, normally I have done this sort of, what do you call it? Uh, uh, Podcast style with a few partners. I wasn't able to get one set up this time around. So this year, I decided it might be fun to just do it live this time around, and maybe next year I'll do it live with a partner. I don't know, maybe. So, hi, hello. I'm the real Manos. I'm also Justin Cristelli, and I read comic books. I make comic books, and something else too. I do a few other things, but. I wanted to kind of start the year off with a brand new top 10 list where we talk about the top 10 single issues I read in 2021. And I want to specifically mention, let's see, yeah, hi. Let's see. Yeah, I might do it with Steve Baxi next time around. I've been wanting to do a video with Steve in a while. I cannot remember the last time I did a video with Steve. Possibly, maybe on Geeky Gentleman on Ian's channel, or it is also very possible it's been since Geekvolution. Maybe it's the last time he and I did a video together. Maybe I feel like we did something on Ian's channel in the last couple of years, but I would definitely. I bugged him a couple of times about doing a video with me, and let's see, we'll see. It'd be fun. So this time around, I'm doing a top 10 list by myself, like I mentioned, and the normal rules apply. It's going to be single issues, and if it's a multi-part story, it's the one that kind of represents the arc, the one that really grabbed me the most, that maybe sold me onto the arc, or something along those lines. And because I don't think we appreciate the art of a single issue anymore, because they're all part of the the whole story arc, and I don't know, people don't really think of them in the same way they used to, where it would kind of designed to, get you going, get you excited. Let's see. You're part of a lot of networks. Yeah, I've been part of a lot of networks. Lately, I've just been kind of flying solo for me, but we'll see about that in the future. So, hey, I guess I can get started in just a second here. I kind of just want to kind of give people a chance to kind of like jump on to the live show. I want to say, hey, how you doing? I hope you had a good New Year. I had a pretty relaxing New Year. I am right now kind of preparing Red Knight 7 through 9. I'm getting that set up right now. If you want to read my comic books, Red Knight is available at manospublishing.com. The link is below, and you can buy comics either digital or print from me. So that'll be there in the links. I have a couple of shows coming up. I have a couple of shows set up in 2022. I have the Norfolk Nice independent comic show. It's going to be at the O'Connor Brewery. Is O'Connor Brewery this time around?
No, I think it's somewhere else.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
All right. I forgot to introduce my lovely assistant and wife, Lindsay. She's over in the back.
Hello.
And let's see, she'll be here as well. So where's the Norfolk Nice?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You look like you found it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the Tidewater Comic Con, which is in Virginia Beach, it's a really nice show, and I've been doing that since the beginning. So I signed up in 2019 for the 2020 show, and of course, we all know that didn't go over, and neither did the 2021 show. So I'm very excited to finally have that table I paid for pay off. Did you find that?
It's at Smart Mouth Brewing.
Smart Mouth Brewing.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Does that have anything to do with the things that went on with O'Connor?
Probably.
Okay. O'Connor had some issues with how they treated some certain personnel, and
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if Norfolk Nice was going to respond, and I guess they did.
Yeah.
So they moved the show to a different brewery. That's really cool.
Actually, a lot of shows have gone away from O'Connor this year.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hey. Let's see. Somebody says hi to Lindsay. You.
Hello.
And
stranger on the internet.
Aren't we all just strangers on the internet? So, yeah, that's cool. That actually makes me feel good because I'm a little iffy about like supporting O'Connor. So that's really good to hear that I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, the Titlewood Comic Con is coming up in May. The Norfolk Nice is coming up in February, provided there's not another new variant that destroys everyone and makes everyone suffer another long, painful year. But hopefully that won't happen. So I just wanted to kind of like get going here. This was an interesting year in comics. Actually, to be honest, just about every year is interesting. So I have some selections in here I haven't really normally picked. I have a couple of familiar faces in here. And you can definitely see some creators kind of like building, their arcs and stuff like that. So, we'll see about that. So anyway, I think I'm going to just get started. And if you are watching this over again, recorded, hello. And we're going to be talking about top 10 comics. So let's get started. Issue, let's see. Well, number 10. This series actually is normally a little higher up, but I had such a struggle like finding all types of different. I had such a struggle this year with comics. Like the ones I picked for this top 10 were all pretty good. So kind of had to do my best trying to figure this out. Hey, Dash and Scan is here. Hey, Manos. Can't stay long. Got work tomorrow. Just want to say I hope you and Lindsay had a great New Year's, and you should totally watch that Acrone or Akani or show on Netflix. That animated show from League of Legends.
Oh, Arcane?
Arcane, excuse me, Arcane. Seriously feels like a show that was written by you. Oh, that's good. Maybe I'll get a check for it. But anyway, I'm going to start talking about issue Daredevil, number 35. This is number 10. Usually Daredevil's a little bit higher up, but like I said, this is a really competitive year. There was a lot of really strong stuff this year that I felt was kind of equal. So to be honest, a lot of these choices could have been mixed up, frankly. Anyway, this is by Chip Zdarsky and let's see, Marco Cicchetto didn't do the art on this one. This was Stefano Landini and let's see, Francisco Mobilini, and a lot of Italians working on this top 10. I don't know if I was biased on that, but I did pick a lot of Italians. So anyway, what I really like about this was, even though it's not Cicchetto doing the art here, the art by the existing team is really gorgeous. Really love the work they did on this one. And this culminates in not just essentially Matt Murdock's kind of journey into the prison scandal that he was embroiled in, as well as let's see, the shit the mayor's doing, Mayor Fisk. Essentially, Fisk had set up this whole stupid idea of cloning the Bullseye so he could maybe control the clones of Bullseye, and they'd still have the talent, without thinking that, I don't know, maybe they might escape and be a whole army of Bullseyes. That was really a bad idea. So what's really cool is Elektra, who is kind of in Matt Murdock's place as Daredevil, faces off with the real deal, the real Bullseye, and holy crap, what a great showdown! Because of course we all know how important that is to her. I mean, this is the man who killed her, and she was able, by sheer ninja magic, come back. Uh, and oh boy, like we've had a couple of comeuppance with Bullseye about it, but I don't think it was quite as therapeutic for her in this regard. I absolutely loved it, and of course we have man, the other Marvel heroes stand up for Daredevil to the cops, including particularly Spider-Man, who's been on his ass this entire Chip Zdarsky run about responsibility and doing your job right. And here he is going, you know what? He's doing his job right. He's the man now. I'm standing up for him. So this is like a really great kind of like journey for all the characters involved. Love this issue. Very, very good stuff. Chip Zdarsky is just knocked out of the park. This is when he is done. I'm kind of going to wait until he's done, but this could very well challenge. This is one of the few challengers to Miller's crown as far as King of Daredevil. I don't know, but it's definitely, unless he completely fucks up the landing, I think it's going to easily be like the second best run on Daredevil, which is saying quite a bit. Let's see. So, let's see. The artwork looks amazing. Yeah, it does. Thank you very. I agree. Let's see. Now let's go to number 9, and number 9 is, I think, a newcomer here. I haven't had this book on the top 10 list before. It is Moon Knight, number 4. Does this have a legacy number? It does, 204. This is hilarious. This is by Jed MacKay. And let's see, Cappuccino. There's a lot of Italians on this list. Okay, maybe Marvel just hired a lot of Italians. But so, hey, the Warren Ellis run was really strong. 6 issues really for Moon Knight, and of course Warren Ellis won't be writing for Marvel anytime soon for lots of reasons. But so I gotta say, I really dig McKay's work on this, and this is actually the first year I've really seriously read any of his stuff, and I can't believe I've kind of like missed out on his work. He's actually a very talented writer. He's done a couple of fill-ins. He's done a couple of bits in Spider-Man, which I really like, since Nick Spencer left the book. And like his baby right now has been Moon Knight, and holy crap, he's been really getting into this book. Let's see. Right now, he's been working with a woman who had been recently turned into a vampire, and he's been kind of assisting her in kind of rebuilding her life. She's working for him. He's also kind of working on the whole multiple personality thing, because one of the things about Moon Knight that a lot of people talk about is that, hey, he's like Batman, except he's really crazy. So he's kind of working on that. He's talking to a psychiatrist at the same time. He's got these villains, of course, as always, kind of going up his ass. And of all people, like Tigra from their shared days of the West Coast Avengers comes to visit. And she's kind of playful and funny. And I always enjoy seeing her, by the way. And guess what? She's kind of like a pretty important person to talk to, because he does kind of associate her with the more fun parts of being a superhero back in the day, working with the West Coast Avengers, and he's able to like open up to her. And we kind of get kind of a breakthrough because one of the things in earlier in the issue, he has this really great speech talking to a psychiatrist about the fact that he's a Jewish man who has willingly worked for an Egyptian god. And it really does kind of go into that emotional journey for him. And he's kind of like talking about it. And he kind of like goes all the way with Tiger talking about it. this is really great stuff, and it doesn't like skimp on the action. The art is just absolutely lovely with this. So I'm really digging this, and this has been a really good time wise for Moon Knight to be good. With this TV show coming up. So anybody who checks out the TV show and will want to dig stuff, it's a good place to look. Really nice. Number 9. All right. Now, number 8. Let's see. And this has been a pretty consistent book that's been appearing. And this is Captain Marvel, number 32, at number 8. And Captain Marvel's had an interesting year. This is Kelly Thompson. And who's doing the art on this one? Sergio Davila. And let's see, she's Captain Marvel's had a couple of interesting arcs lately. Like she's gone to the future and kind of come back and tried to prevent the dictator from the future from taking over. She has seen Jessica Drew like die in the future and hang out with her adult son. And she's like had a relationship with Rhodey go bad. And then she like, kind of like, I've had a fallback with Doctor Strange for a couple of issues and fucked around there and tried to learn magic and stuff like that. But then we get back to this arc. This is the last of the Marvels, and she is attacked by this mysterious character, this mysterious, powerful character, wearing the evil Captain Marvel suit that she was forced to wear a couple of arcs ago, about a couple of years ago, where she was forced by one of her villains to put it on and take out the other Avengers. Not through the skin of her teeth. She was able to figure out how to get her out of that. But hey, who the hell is this? And they're attacking her just like she attacked the Avengers. Really cool, because one of the things I like about this fight is like she assumes the person in the suit is being controlled as well, and she's fighting with that in mind instead of just like blindly fighting them. And it's basically kind of a mystery at this point. She does eventually win and find out that it's one of the previous names of Captain Marvel. Let's see. For those of you who don't know, Carol is actually the 7th Captain Marvel, and not even the first woman to be Captain Marvel. She's like the 3rd. And this, I think, is the 2nd one. And she's able to get her back to Tony Stark, and they are able to start pulling the suit off her. And she slowly starts figuring out that the other names related to Captain Marvel are in danger. So she instantly rushes to Kamala Khan, where she is being subjugated by a whole mess of these guys. Really cool action arc. The last issue, I think, comes out this week. I have not read it yet, but it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed Kelly Thompson's work on this. This is probably my favorite arc she's done in a couple of years. It's been really good. Definitely recommend this one. This is the first part of the Last of the Marvels arc. This is issue 32. Highly recommended. It's number 8. And let's see. Is Monica Rambeau the first Captain Marvel? No, she is the 2nd. The first one was cleverly named Marvel, and so it wasn't really so much of a name. It was just his actual name. He died, and Carol was forced into retirement right after that. So the name kind of floated around for a while, and that's when Monica Rambeau picked it up. And editorial pushed her out and gave it to some other guy, which kind of sucked and proved to be a bad idea, because that guy wasn't successful as a character, and they tried a different character and a different character and a different character, and it just never really took until they realized, like, hey, why don't we just give it to Carol? She's like this character that's been around all this time. She's been around since like the 60s, for God's sakes. So she's kind of earned it. They could have gave it back to Monica, but it looks like, I don't know, Monica's getting more and more involved with the Captain Marvel thing. So we'll see what that's going with. Hmm. All right. So just to review, number 10 is Daredevil 35. Number 9 is Moon Knight 4. And number 8 is Captain Marvel 32, or the legacy number 166. All right, now let's go to a new book that's not been on this list. I've talked about it a little periodically here and there on the channel, not too much, but it is from Image, and it's from Kyle Higgins and let's see, Marcellus Costa, and it is Radiant Black number. What is this? Issue 3, and this is a superhero title from Image, and it's essentially, long story short, it's about this young writer who's kind of down on his luck, and he accidentally gets this super suit that can basically, one of those kind of super suits that can fly, super strong, energy powers, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of guys that kind of have this suit in different color schemes and stuff like that. And what I really, it's been an interesting book because it's really kind of like played around with the usual kind of tropes you see with this kind of like regular guy gets a superpowered thing. And the action's good. The art's really nice. The art's really good, by the way, in these issues. The one that really struck out to me was this issue 3. And he is a writer, and he gets back to work. He just tries to get back to writing. And this framing device I thought was really interesting as he goes about his computer. He's trying to write while like he's been kind of like dealing with this stuff. And his best friend is like all in on him being a superhero. And like, okay, man, I'm trying to come up with your like name. And we're going to call you this, or how about this? While he's just like, yeah, okay, let me just kind of get back to my script here. And boy, I mean, I can relate to that kind of thing. You got life trying to intervene where you just want to fucking write something. Yeah, this really stuck out to me. This is a really good issue. It's pretty funny. It's really strongly emotional, and the art's really nice. And it doesn't leave out the bang bang boom booms. So that was really nice. So this was issue, let's see, 10, 9, 8. This was issue 7. I definitely recommend checking this. I think the first arc or 2 are now traded, and it's definitely worth looking into. All right. Let's see. Kyle Higgins, cool dude. Met him at my first con in 2014. Oh, that's awesome. I don't believe I've met Kyle Higgins, but that is something I have also heard. All right. Here's actually one of my favorite issues. There's actually a couple of issues of X-Men in this top 10. I'll give that. That'll be my spoiler. But yeah, there was a lot of X-Men. The X-Men, despite what Rob Liefeld might tell you, and this is the most 90s X-Men has been since the 90s. Because they're kind of all over. There's a whole bunch of different books. The drama is everywhere. Holy crap. And it is kind of like the 90s was for me. Because, I have trouble kind of like, oh, man, what book should I pick? And this time around, I've been kind of like sticking to the main X-Men title. I do want to read more Marauders. That was a really cool book. And God, just builds into this next giant story arc. And we've been building towards Inferno, and this is Inferno number 2. This is my number 6 choice. And this is by Jonathan Hickman. And who did the art on this one? Let's see, Stefano Caselli. I think all the artists on my list this year are Italian. Holy shit! Let's give it up to the Italians this year. We're not just great lovers. We're also great artists. So Jonathan Hickman is brilliant, but holy shit, can you like name a big event something else that hasn't already been already named? Like, he did the Secret Wars thing, and now he has Inferno. It's like there's already been an Inferno. I don't know. I get it, because it's more of a political Inferno. And then he's been doing this build-up thing where, the kind of forces going on in Krakoa are building up, and things are getting more tense. And let's see, Mystique, I mentioned this in previous reviews, has been kind of dicked around by Charles Xavier and Magneto, where they can resurrect anybody. And she's like, well, great. How about resurrecting my wife? And they're going, well, she's a little down on the list. If you do these things for us, we can, kick her up the list a bit. And then they don't, or they come up with excuses, or she kind of fails and, just doesn't get a chance. And so she's been getting more and more frustrated. So she was like, okay, I'm going to just do it. So issue 1 ends with her showing up at the Quiet Council meeting with Destiny, her wife. Like, she got her resurrected behind their backs. And then does the double fuck you of going, okay, I think we should put Destiny on the Quiet Council. Let's have a vote. And then we go through this really great sequence of events where, we're having the meeting in the present, and then we flash back to Mystique preparing and getting all this shit done and getting dealing with the various, we get to see her working with Destiny and helping her get properly resurrected and, back into, the thick of things. Meanwhile, we also get flashbacks to the various members of the Quiet Council, with Mystique meeting them and coming up with her kind of wheeling and dealing, well, you vote for me and I'll do this for you and all this kind of stuff. She should work for the Democrats. She can actually get stuff done. And she succeeds. She not only brings back Destiny, but she gets Destiny onto the Quiet Council, which leads to one of my favorite sequences in the last, a couple of years of X-Men comics. Let me see if I can get to it right here. It's this sequence. Oh, man. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, crap. But it's essentially Moira McTaggart has been this whole time, don't bring back Destiny. She is a danger to me. Do not, whatever you do, don't bring her back. And so they have to kind of come into her secret lair and go, okay, funny story. Destiny got resurrected behind our backs, and she's like, fuck. What else? Well, she's kind of on the Quiet Council now. It's you fucking idiots. You had one fucking job to keep her dead. So they realize, okay, we can save this. Let's go to Emma Frost, the White Queen. She's a psychic. I'll let her know that I've lived 10 lifetimes of different multiple realities, so we can get her on our side. And that backfires because this is Emma Frost, and she just realized she has not been in the inner circle in this thing, and that kind of pisses her off. So that didn't work. So this is getting more and more dangerous for everybody because this is kind of going south pretty quick. Really fun stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed this issue. I just enjoyed the fact just watching everything kind of fall apart right here. And man, God, Xavier and Magneto having to talk to their boss, which was very funny. She didn't really say you had one job, but I mean, come on. I mean, that's basically what the whole thing was about. All right. Now let's go to, let's see, number, I think that was, let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, now we're at the halfway point. We are at number 6. And this is a DC comic. Yeah, I know I've not been reading DC, but there's been a couple things. Well, first off, they did a comic book version of Batman 89, and look, I'm not made of stone. Look, I'm a Gen Xer. Of course, I'm going to pick up Batman 89. But they've done it really, lovingly. The art style really does feel like the first two Tim Burton movies. And they also got Sam Hamm to write the miniseries, the original screenwriter for the first Batman film. And let's see, who's done the art on this? Joe Quincenos. And Joe's art is gorgeous. Like it looks like the Tim Burton movies. And the first issue is a strong like jump back into that world, and felt very tribute. It felt like a big tribute to the works of Tim Burton. The days when he was really good and solid, and you can trust his work. The early '90s. So that issue is great. But what the issue I put on this list was actually issue 2, and we're finally getting like the promise that we had of Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. And of course, we all know he was ripped off and didn't get to play the role in Batman Forever, and they even changed him to a white guy too, and didn't give us any kind of explanation on that. So they couldn't even change his name. Like, okay, look, you got a different guy. Just call it. They could have found like another black actor, because, like, let's say mid '90s, Billy D. Williams isn't hot enough to be in our movie. He's not a top name, star anymore. I get it. There are other black actors. They exist. And I kept thinking, like, I remember when the movie came out, like Denzel Washington was like huge. That's like after a couple of years of, like Glory was, I think, in '89 or something like that. And he was really doing really big. He could have been, look, if he did that Virtuosity film, he would have done Batman Forever. So could have called him. Like, he would have been a great Two-Face. Although, and maybe he would have got along better with Jim Carrey. Because funny story, Tommy Lee Jones hates Jim Carrey. So it really does play off in the film, and not in a good way. So I guess I'm going off on a tangent on Batman Forever. So, hey, we finally get a chance to see Billy D. Williams, or at least a drawing of Billy D. Williams playing Two-Face, and we get a kind of like an idea of what that's looking like. We're also getting Robin. Let's see, Sam Hamm had a very clear version of Robin that he was trying to get into this film that kept getting cut over and over again, because Tim Burton hates Robin. And I'll be honest, I think Hollywood in general doesn't get Robin, doesn't like Tim, Dick Grayson and such. So we do get a version of Robin here. He's a young black man, and let's see, he has a little bit of Jason Todd in him, as far as like, he's kind of like a mechanic. He's kind of like a little bit more rough and tumble. And also, I guess, being in the Two-Face story, he's kind of got a connection to Two-Face. But Two-Face is the thing I want to talk about, because something I think is really interesting in this story, and in particular this issue, is this Sam Hamm takes full advantage of the fact that this Harvey Dent is black, and has essentially one foot in two different worlds. He has a foot in the black community of Gotham City, which, by the way, is really interesting to see the black community of the Tim Burton's Gotham City, which was kind of non-existent in the films. We actually get to see what that's like in here. And a foot in the police department, and how both sides are trying to pull him in their direction. And hey, he's Two-Face. So that's a really interesting way to look at this character, and approach something that I haven't really seen with Two-Face, and this is even before he even burns his face and stuff like that. Now, granted, I can't really for say like Sam Hamm would have like done this in 1995. It's 2021, so I mean, people change, people develop, people learn things. So the things that have been going on in the world and to the public eye, uh, with regards to Black Lives Matter, defunding the police, blah blah blah. All this political discussion is pretty educational, and I feel like that's probably been a big influence on Sam Hamm. So I don't know if he would have. I don't know. It's cool to think he may have like tried to do this in '95, but never got a chance to. We would have had to have a different director because dealing with the political struggles of Black people is probably not Tim Burton's strength. So we at least have this, and this is just excellent work. I really enjoyed this. This was quite a bit. This is number 5, and really dug this one a lot. A couple more issues left on this one, and it'll be done. It'd be nice if they did more. Like I know there's a possibility of Harley Quinn showing up in Batman Triumphant, so that would be neat to see what a Harley Quinn in the '89 universe would look like. But oh well, I don't know. If we only just have this miniseries, that's fine. I'm happy. All right, so let's get going to number 4. We're almost done, man. We got issue 4 here, and this is a book I've been raving about a lot. I'm a big fan of superhero action. I love punch, punch, shoot, shoot, throwing people through walls. That's what I like superhero action to be like. It's nonstop fun. And a lot of my frustrations with a lot of like so-called action comics is sometimes people think action is just like poses. Like, I know Rob Liefeld was bitching about the lack of action in modern X-Men comics, but I mean, I don't know. The 90s extreme age like glorified the idea of just guys doing this as action. Well, okay, there, I drew that as a 2-page splash. That's your action. No, that's not action. You have to have sequential panels of action happening to be action. So this does that. This is SpiderWoman. Let's see. This is issue 13. This is my number 4 of 2021. And it is by Carla Pacheco and Pierre Perez. And they have been a solid goddamn team as far as fun action. It has been a lot of the story with this run of SpiderWoman has had a lot to do with her origins and her ties to her parents and her scientific parents, and their ties to Hydra and the High Evolutionary and all the experimental shit they were doing, and how it's been coming on to her and her brother and her niece, and her clone mom fighting these other people. There's been a lot of intrigue going on. So anyway, the previous arc before this, her niece is like suffering. Her body's been kind of like disabled, and her brother actually has this this kind of like serum crap in him as well, and she is left with a disk of information with the experiments as she's trying to decode it. And issue 13 starts with some people breaking into her apartment and trying to steal it. And the first page we get is her whacking one of these characters with this baby stroller. Because, look, she and the babysitter were just in the apartment, and these supervillains just jump in and start attacking. We get this really cool fight sequence of her chasing her out. She had her costume on underneath, and we have this awesome fight chase where they just go. And man, this fight on the subway is fantastic. This is what I mean about action, like not poses, like boom, boom, boom. You can see the action going back and forth all through this issue. One of my favorite moments is that criminal passed off the disc to another one, and it starts this cool, funny chain of events where it's sort of like a baton race, where another villain throws the information to somebody else, and Spider-Woman has to chase that asshole. And one of my favorite bits is this strong guy like just throws a police horse at her, and she's mad. She takes it like pretty personally, featuring probably one of my favorite panels of the year, where she says, "I can't believe you threw a fucking horse at me," which only makes her more mad. And we just go down and around, and it just gets more ridiculous as like a boat, motorcycle, a monster truck gets involved in this chase, all the way up until we get to Lady Bullseye. Is apparently, the what do you call it in video games? The boss?
Final boss?
Yeah, the final boss. Well, actually not the final boss, because she was working for her brother, who wanted the disc back. Like, oh my God. Anyway, we find out why he did this stupid thing in the next issue. But oh my God, what a joy this issue was. If you like action, this whole Spider-Woman series is fantastic. I enjoy every bit of it. It's been such a fun read month to month, and Carla can't help herself. She has to have some people beating the shit out of each other in every issue. Otherwise, she's not happy, and that means I'm happy. So, really good stuff. This is issue 13. Legacy number on this is 108, and this was fantastic. I recommend this whole series. Number 4. So let's go, and I'm going to actually kind of switch gears here, because we have like a lot of fun, punch, bang, bang, and we're going to go to a different type of comic. I've been reading a few more horror comics this year. Lindsay actually is a much bigger horror comic fan than I am.
Yep.
And let's see, there's this one I actually picked up, and she's been reading from me. And it was a mini series from Image, back to Image, by the way. And so my number 3 choice is number 4 of The Me You Love in the Dark. And if you haven't heard of this, I recommend seeking it out if you like horror comics. And this has a nice slow burn spookiness to it. This is from Scotty Young and George Corona. And it's about this young struggling artist named Ro, and she needs a place. She needs a new place to get away to and work on her art. And in issue 1, she very slowly realizes the old spooky house she bought to do her art in has, I think, a ghost or some kind of voice in the dark. And issue 2, let's see, actually the first couple issues, they slowly kind of get to know each other, and you actually kind of start to like the spooky voice. Like, okay, maybe this is some sort of kind of spooky romance thing. And then this issue pops up, and you realize, no, it's not a romance. It's an abusive relationship where he becomes demanding and manipulative and threatening. And he is the house. He's all the darkness surrounding her and encapsulating her and kind of trapping her. It's really scary, because you like the reader, like her, kind of let yourself go into this and enjoy it and think it's kind of fun, and then slowly dawns on her and you, the reader, that this is not fun and this is threatening and scary, just like realizing you are in an abusive relationship. Holy crap, this is really well done. And then we kind of get sort of a glimpse of what this thing is at the end, but I won't really spoil that. Maybe I've spoiled enough. But geez Louise, this is quite a good comic. This is only 5 issues, I believe, and it's probably already traded by the time I'm done this video. So if you can find this in trade or just pick up the issues, go get it if you like a spooky horror story. And Scotty Young is just always really good. So he didn't do the art on this, but there is definitely an influence of his style in the art here. So go check it out. This is my 3rd favorite book of the let's see. Do horror comics have to be graphic, or does it depend on the story? Really? Yes. Excuse me. No. They don't have to be gory. They don't have to be graphic. They can be spooky. I'm a big fan. Last couple of years, I've been getting really super into Junji Ito's work. And yeah, he's famous for doing a lot of gory stuff in his work, but some of the stuff he does isn't gory, and it's just suspenseful and spooky and kind of just gets into your mind. He can do the gore, and he does it very well, but he doesn't have to. And I've seen other artists do that as well. I think Me You Love in the Dark, I think, is a good example of that. Most of its scares and creeps comes from atmosphere, which is one of the things I like most in horror. What do you think kind of like falls into the like what have you been reading that really has like a
spooky but not gory? What have I been reading? Let's see. Nope, that's gory.
What was that? What was that gory thing?
Oh, the gory thing is a new series, Lunar Room.
Oh yeah.
Werewolves.
Okay. Well, yeah.
There's an anthology series, The Silver Coin. Some of them are more spooky. Most are fairly gory.
Okay.
Got a cursed coin.
And also the house by the lake.
The Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah, you've been reading that. Is that gory or more?
It's more like sense of dread kind of thing, but there are scenes of extreme gore and horror.
Okay. And then the last book you'll ever read.
Yeah, also has a bunch of gore and sex.
Okay.
So that's beware of that.
Okay. Anything else before we move on? And then, of course, you're a big Hellboy fan.
Love Hellboy. Not horror, really. More
kind of spooky Jack Kirby kind of.
Yeah, thing. It's more folklore, occasionally creepy stuff.
Okay. Let's see. Hey, Marion McDonald. You missed 10 through 3. And let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about the second best comic of 2020, and then I'm going to do a review of what I've talked about. So hang tight. All right. Are you done? Or is there anything else?
I finished reading another good series. It's probably collected now, called The Autumnal by Vault Comics. Not gory, very sense of dread in the small town.
Okay.
Kind of thing. There is a little gore at the end, but overall, not so much.
Okay. I hope that helps you. I think we gave quite a few answers together.
I like horror.
Yeah, we do. We like it. It's good. I will probably be reading more horror comics this upcoming year. I'll probably borrow more Lindsay stuff. And I picked up, I got for Christmas from Lindsay the first trade of Something Is Killing the Children. So I'll be most likely reading that and probably be talking about that a little bit more in the future. Now, let's get to my choice for the number 2 comic of 2021. And I mentioned I had one X-Men comic prior to this, and I had another one. This is issue, let's see. Oh, excuse me. This is just a special. It is Planet Size X-Men. This is connected to the X-Men Gala arc, which was kind of funny because they started like promoting it in an interesting way. They were like showing the dresses that were designed for a lot of the characters and some of the men and their outfits for this big shindig or something like that. And I know some fans were like, "What the hell is this?" But I was like very curious. Like there was something was going to happen, and I did not foresee the big thing that was going to happen because I just figured it was just going to be one of those things where just an attack or some kind of big disaster would happen. But okay, I was pretty wrong. This actually is Jerry Duncan and Pepe Larraz doing the work here. But let's see. We kind of get Flash. We see the various X-Men do these amazing things. Like Magneto is pulling this gigantic asteroid forward, and we see on planet Mars. What is this? A couple of the X-Men doing big giant like things. Iceman is here. They're doing something, and we're flashing back to previous scenes building up to the X-Men Gala. We have this conversation between Cyclops and Captain America because Captain is like, what are you guys going to be doing at this thing? Like, I don't even know. So it's going to be kind of crazy. I can't really talk to you about it. And then we flash back forward. We get Storm doing one of the most amazing things I've seen her do is she creates an atmosphere for Mars, which is queen shit. This is probably one of the most impressive things. Like, how the fuck does anybody how do you beat Storm? Like, she's like one of the most impressive creations. There's also another character that can create kind of like life within the soil, and we get to see, add the building blocks for that. So essentially, what the big secret, the thing the X-Men was going to do, they invite not only all the superheroes to this event, but also representatives from all across the world, different countries. And the idea was we are going to show you that we are a strong country and, we can do things for you. And maybe you do things for us. And then to kind of to put a period on that, they go, hey, look at the sky. We just fucking colonized Mars. And while we were doing this party, and that's kind of how it ends. It's fantastic. And it's just such a simple idea of terraforming Mars. And but it's just done on this epic grand scale that I was kind of breathless by. And also, let's see. This is just kind of an amazing issue. Also, the cover features a whole bunch of the X-Men as well. Gorgeous stuff. This kind of left me breathless. It was really amazing. Let's see. Marion says, didn't Cyclops become a bit of the jerk as the years went on? Yeah, he did. And there's been some pullback on that. I think he's been kind of unfairly treated by a lot of writers over the last few years. And we have kind of seen a different side to Cyclops over the last few years. So, hey, Marion, just because you asked, well, actually, I was going to do this anyway. I'm going to do a review of 10 through 2 on my choices for the top 10 greatest single issues of 2021. So before we get to the end, I'm going to do that, and also some honorable mentions. So first off, number 10 was Daredevil. Number 35. Number 9 was Moon Knight. Number 4. Number 8 was Captain Marvel. Number 32. Number 7 was Radiant Black. Number 3 from Image. Number 6 was Inferno. Number 2. Number 5 was Batman 89. Number 4 was SpiderWoman, number 13. Don't throw a horse at her. And let's see. Where are we?
3.
Number 3. 3 was The Me You Love in the Dark, number 4, also from Image. And number 2 was Planet Size X-Men. This was very close to being number 1, but there was something that edged it out. Kind of at the last minute, really. But I do want to mention some honorable mentions. And there's some really good stuff that came out this year. And I had a couple books on X-Men pop up in this list. And I almost chose Jerry Duggan's X-Men number 1. The first couple issues are admittedly a little repetitive. Some force comes, the X-Men take them out in a really cool way, and then they kind of party. That's actually the first 3 issues of the series. Really nicely done, but it is leading to something. There's this cool mystery, as well as this underlining threat of the resurrection secret becoming public, which is really nice. And of course, the team dynamic is awesome. This is really good. The readers, I think through a readers poll, picked these characters, and actually they've worked together very, very well. Sync, who I've never thought of ever, is very cool in this. And not to mention, Cyclops is also very cool in this series. Jerry Duggan has been bringing this interesting kind of Grant Morrison Justice League vibe to X-Men, if that makes any sense. Kind of reminds me of those days. So this has been a fun book. Spider-Man number 75 by a whole team of guys like Zed Wells, Patrick Gleason, Kelly Thompson. Let's see. Ahmed, I think, has been working on this. They're doing this Beyond arc, which has been following the Nick Spencer run. And it has a very obvious beginning, middle, and end. It's not meant to be this prolonged status quo or anything like that. It's kind of doing the impossible. It's taken Peter out of the equation in putting him in a coma in the hospital and having him replaced by Ben Reilly. That should piss me off. I should hate that. But the whole story of Ben being kind of like an employee of the Beyond Corporation as their Spider-Man, because Parker Industries, don't forget, existed and folded. And there was an actual trademark of Spider-Man within that company. And so they bought out the remaining bits of that company. So they owned the trademark of Spider-Man. So there was hey, let's have a Spider-Man. And of course they hired Ben Reilly, the clone of Spider-Man, to be the Spider-Man. And of course it's very suspicious how, Peter Parker actually went into a coma. We've been kind of watching that. This has been really fun. I've been really digging this. This almost made my top 10 list. This has just started. This is the Devil's Reign arc, where Kingpin is going for broke. He is sick of superheroes in New York. He's the mayor, so he's going to try and do something about it. And this is basically the swan song for Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run, or at least you get the feeling for it. And it's been really cool so far. Speaking of Spider-Man, there's so many Spider-Man stories I really enjoyed, but has just missed the top 10. And this is a kind of sequel epilogue to the Spider-Man life story by Chip Zdarsky. It's called an annual, but there's probably not going to be another issue. And it is the days of J. Jonah Jameson and how his life has been during the life story series. And it's fascinating. He kind of has a comeuppance, which is something he's never had in regular continuity of all the shitty things he's done, and has to deal with it. Excellent stuff, just always good. And this has Mark Bagley doing the art. Mark Bagley is a robot who draws. He can't be human, because no one works this much and turns out such great talent can't be human. I'm convinced he's a robot. Very, very good stuff. And let's see. There's a couple of independent books. I'm going to be talking a little bit more on the channel about them, but they just barely missed the top 10. Let's see. The first 5 issues of American Dreams. A friend of mine, actually, Daniel Caliban, has been doing this. It's a really interesting series, and I will do a video discussing the book soon. And it is an independent comic. He used to be with Short Fuse Media, and he's kind of like rebranded himself as he stepped away from them as Atlas Studios. And it's a fascinating book. It's a superhero series that takes place in the year 1900. It's the beginning of the 20th century. And that's usually not the year a lot of comic creators, including me, do the dawn of superheroes. We usually do it in the 30s because we're making a commentary on real life when comics really came into being. But no, he actually goes into a more fascinating time, actually. And it's really interesting. There are real life historical figures in this series. And it has like a real, I don't know, it's almost like Superman meets Sandman Mystery Theater in that kind of like vibe, if that makes any sense. I will be talking about more about this. And let's see. Record for artists continuing. Record for artists continually outputting monthly work. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Mark Bagley's amazing. And one last thing is Rachel Smythe's Lore Olympus, which has been a huge runaway success story. I bought Lindsay this trade paperback. If you're not familiar with Lore Olympus, it's a series you can find on Webtoon for free, and it comes in these small chapters that builds up. And I think there's a paywall if you want to read ahead or something like that.
You can read ahead. Usually it's 3 episodes.
Something like that. I think that's pretty normal, especially for the big ones, which I assume this is the biggest thing on Webtoon. Because you go into when you go into a store, you can find Lore Olympus stuff. I mean, that's what's the other independent comic that does that? Ninja Turtles?
That's still an indie.
Yeah, if you still count it as an indie. But this is a fantasy romance, kind of updating the story of the Olympus gods.
It's the taking of Persephone.
Yeah, essentially focusing on that and a new interpretation of that. The art and colors are absolutely. I probably should have set aside a particular page, but
everything is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick. Like everything is just absolutely beautiful. The art in here is just gorgeous. Oh, here's a probably pretty couple of good pages. The gods and Olympus are done kind of like more in a modern context where the humans are.
It's ancient.
It's ancient times, so it still sucks for them.
But on Olympus and the underworld, it's like modern times. There are cell phones and cars and computers and modern clothing.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. So, of course, that seems kind of cool for them. But this doesn't really kind of fit into the format of what I do here. So I didn't quite put it in, but let's see. This is definitely something I do want to kind of figure out how to talk about Webtoon and other webcomics and stuff like that. But this is the big gun right now. And this was a huge, big ass trade I bought Lindsay for not Christmas.
I got it for myself.
Oh, that's right. I bought you another thing.
You bought me pins and things. But
oh, that's right. Sorry about that.
He bought me pins of Hades and Persephone.
That's right.
But no, I got it for myself at the comic store.
Oh, that's right. You bought this. That's right.
This collects the first 25 episodes plus a bonus chapter that was never published on Webtoon.
Yeah, that's how they get you. So yeah, if you don't have time to. Well, I mean, it's free online and Webtoon, but if you want to pick up, if you're like me or Lindsay, like print media, like physical things,
not having to scroll through the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, this trades out in hardcover and paperback. Anyway, I'll probably be talking a little bit more about Lore Olympus and some other webtoons soon. But now I think it's probably time to finish this shit up and talk about my favorite comic, single issue of 2021. And this was a last minute pick, really. I probably would have put Planet Size X-Men as my number one choice. And Spider-Man 75 would have been able to be in the top 10, but it got yanked out by Wonder Woman Historia from Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez. Now, 85 years ago when they announced the Black Label line, and this is before it became a Joker line, that they were going to be doing out of continuity, as if there is a continuity, out of continuity, mature themed tales of the superheroes and kind of like a new approach. And one of the 3 books that were pitched initially was this Wonder Woman title, and all we were given was this gorgeous cover, which this is all we've had for years. It's this piece right here, absolutely beautiful. So, it's been last couple of years have been a little frustrating. I remember early in 2021, I was beginning to think is this book still coming out? I mean, did they just quietly cancel it so they could do Harley Quinn meets Joker from other dimensions? I don't know. But no, you pick this book up, you look through it, then you realize why it took so long. Phil Jimenez went absolutely nuts with this series. Good God. Every page is set for the gallery. He went to town. He could probably retire after working on this thing. Amazing. And Kelly Sue DeConnick basically also really does step up. I will say, this is probably a bad place to put your little staple here. maybe if they put her face somewhere else in this shot. But because I've seen this image online without this, and it looks amazing. But Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez kind of, in a way, expands George Perez's original Wonder Woman #1 from post-crisis, and they kind of explore this idea of the creation of the Amazons. And instead of just a few pages, we dedicate this whole thing with this massive epic, page for page and pages within panels, kind of exploring stories and look at this stuff. I mean, look, this is a stunning work. And essentially it's Hera, who has, and it's explained over the thousands of years she's been observing, through thousands of eyes, the violence that's been perpetrated on women all this time through men's aggression. And she's officially done because that's all she's been able to see. So she gathers up the other goddesses and they approach Zeus in his blue Superman form here, and have a meeting with him and go, you know what? Can you do something about this? This guys seem a little extra with their aggression and their anger, and women are suffering greatly because of this. Is there a thing you can do? Because you're the most powerful god of all time, and maybe something. And him and the other male gods basically stonewall them and basically say, well, look, guys suffer too. And, it's the nature. It's, Zeus gives her, this bullshit about men have done well for themselves because of their aggression. That's they've been able to achieve because of this aggression. And those that go too far are, serve justice and stuff like that. And she's like, okay, that's bullshit. So then we go into this, where she starts digging up souls that have been killed, because of men's aggression. And if you've read George Perez's, look at this shit. Look at this. This is stunning work. If you've read George Perez's original post-crisis Wonder Woman, where this is heading. She's taking the souls that have been wrongfully killed and kind of building the Amazons with them. And good Lord. And we get to see every step of the way, kind of not too dissimilar to the giant size XMen, where we watch how the XMen terraform Mars. We're watching Hera and the goddesses build the Amazon race with the first issue. And then we're introduced to Hippolyta at the end, and how she is given a chance to become queen of the Amazons. Now, yeah, telling you all this really doesn't do enough. You really should read this. This is stunning work. You don't even have to be a Wonder Woman fan to kind of be blown away by this, although it helps. And absolutely just amazing. Diana, I believe she shows up in baby form here, and we kind of start the seeds of that, her origin here. But this is mainly dealing with Hera's and the other goddesses kind of struggle to create the Amazons, and the beginnings of Hippolyta begins. Hippolyta's awesome in this, by the way. Blew me away. Fantastic. As soon as I read this, it's like, okay, look, I had a feeling this was, when this was actually officially going to come out, I was like, this is probably going to be in the top 10, because just so impressive what I was looking at. And it was even better than I expected. Definitely recommend picking this up. 5 out of 5, gorgeous work. And was the best single issue I read in 2021. Highly recommend. So yeah, that's what I thought this year of these comics. These are my top 10 favorites. Of course, these are only based on the comics I read. I know there's some other great comics out there that I didn't read for one reason or another, that could be on lists. I'd be happy to hear what you'd have to say, before we go. I mean, what time is it? Oh, it's a little bit after 11. Let's see. I don't know if we have any questions. If anybody's here, if they have any questions about, what I feel about either these comics or comics in general or anything else. Let's see. I always thought the Question was an interesting character. Does he have any good issues? Yes, there is the Denny O'Neil run during the late 80s when he was kind of reintroducing the character into the DC universe proper. The Denny O'Neil run is very good. I'd highly recommend digging those up. Those trades are, I don't know if those trades are available anymore, but you can probably find them in the secondary market. Also, Greg Rucka, when he was trying to do the Renee Montoya Question, she had a backup story in Detective Comics for a few issues. I don't know if that's been traded or not, but that was a really cool run. There was a recent Black Label one that was not too bad. Question, I feel like should have I don't know. I don't think he's properly taken care of enough. He's a really cool character, and I don't think he's a cool character. And Renee Montoya, when she's the Question, she's also very cool. She works very well. Neither one of them, I think, has been totally well served. But there are some really cool stuff you can find out there. Craziest thing you read this year? I think I just said so. What's the craziest thing I've read? I don't know. Maybe. That's a good question. Well, do you have an answer? You look like you're.
Well, I have the art in it is fairly crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Paprika.
Oh, I've heard you talk about this.
Yes.
What's so crazy about it? Is it the
Well,
art?
it's in a world of angels and demons. The art is just really expressive and wacky. Not wacky, but
Cartoony?
Cartoony, yes. Also, it's yes, very
risque.
Very risque.
Very
I
good.
haven't finished it. The series isn't over yet. I'm
Okay.
only at issue 5.
Okay.
But I like it a lot. So probably the craziest thing I've been reading.
Okay.
Oh, also, not crazy, but I'm loving this. Another Black Label.
Oh yeah. It's the Catwoman Lonely. Catwoman Lonely City.
Done entirely by Cliff Chang.
Yeah. Who did the Paper Girls and the Wonder Woman New 52. I didn't like Wonder Woman New 52, but one of the things I did like was Cliff Chang's art. His stuff is gorgeous. And yeah.
So this is writing, art, coloring, lettering, everything. Yeah. Everything except the variant covers.
Wow. That's pretty, yeah.
It's an excellent story so far.
Let's see. What's been going on with Hulk lately? I haven't been reading Hulk. I know the Immortal Hulk is all done. And a new arc, I think, I forgot who's working on. Jason Aaron, I think, is working on Hulk. I think he's doing a space thing with it. That's all I know. I haven't been too invested in the Hulk in years. Now that Immortal Hulk is done, maybe I'll go back and pick up the trades of the Immortal Hulk run, so I can kind of get a proper look at that. But I've been very fascinated with that run, even though I didn't pick it up. The current one, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. I'm all excited about the new She-Hulk run that's coming up. It's funny. I've become more of a She-Hulk fan than Hulk. She's just, I don't know, cooler. And she's not crazy. That helps. So I think that might be it. I'm going to wrap it up here. This was fun. And I might do the show live from now on. Maybe I'll have a partner or I don't know, maybe if I give you prep time, do you think you could come up with a top 10 list next year?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been reading more and more comics every year.
Yeah, you've been reading a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have.
What was I going to do?
Yeah, and you also have. You definitely read a lot different things than I read. So, maybe next year we could have like a really balanced top 10 list. All right. So anyway, that's it for me and Lindsay for 2021. And I'm going to be talking about more stuff. And I have a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler review that I'm preparing for. I got the notes all set for it. I'm probably going to record it and hopefully post it Friday. I also want to do a video about the Hawkeye series, which I like quite a bit. And I'm going to be bringing back some Mystery Science Theater reviews. I think episode... The Many Loves of Hercules is the next one. I'm going to kind of get back into talking about the Netflix series, and the Many Loves of Hercules is the one I want to talk about next, and that should be fun. So I think we're done here. So let's see. For me and Lindsay, I just want to say I hope you've had a nice holiday and New Year, and I hope your year wasn't too terrible. Anything you want to say before we go?
Just hi, new internet friends. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you. 2021 wasn't great, but it was better than 2020, and hopefully this will continue to trend. So I don't know, maybe 22 will be not so bad. Decent. Let's get to decent. We were hellish. Okay, fine, and let's get to decent. Let's move on. Anyway, take care, guys, and enjoy comic books.